Welcome back to another day of Kangaroo Math. Today we will be doing another set of Kangaroo Math 2, which is again slightly more challenging but just as fun, so I hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys watch through. Just before we start, I want to say that the questions are available down below. There will be a link, a Google link. Click on that, you'll get all the questions and you'll do them with me. And if you ever want to pause the video to do those questions, feel free to do so. You guys are in control here. And then along with that, there will be my email. So in case you guys want to ask me any questions, if you want any extra work, let me know. I'm always available. Now with this, I'm at home all the time, and I'm sure you guys are too, so let's get into it. Question number 1. What is the perimeter of the figure shown? All right. And then it says all angles are right angles. Well, we can kind of disregard that. It basically just means that these are all straight lines. They all make squares and rectangles, right? So let's look at this diagram. Let's see what this picture's showing us. All right, so we know this is 2, this is 5, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 5. Now, let's think about this, right? Because we don't know what this side is, and we don't know what this side is. But in order to find the perimeter, we need those. Because what is the perimeter? For you guys that don't know what perimeter is the sum of all the sides. So for example, if I have a square that's like this, the perimeter is what I get when I add all of them together. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 8. So here, the perimeter will be when I add this, plus 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 this, right? So that means we need to find this side and this side. Now, let's think, right? Let me draw you a shape. That was a bad shape. Again, that's why I do math, because I'm not the best drawer. Alright, that's a funky shape, right? Where have you ever seen a shape like that? Well, it doesn't matter, because what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind, right? Let's take this shape, right? This bottom part. So let's take it, and it's this long. Now let's take all of these horizontal lines here. So this, let me just put them together like this, and then I'll draw this one next to it, this, and then I'll draw this one next to it, this one I mean, this, then I'll draw that one next to it, this, then this one, this, and then that. Look at that. I drew all of these. So this and this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and I made 2 equal lines. So that means that this side, this whole side, is equal to this plus this plus this, right? All the horizontal lines is equal to the sum of these horizontal lines, right? So now we know that this line, this one I'll label X, is equal to the sum of all the horizontals. So that's equal to 5 plus 5 plus 5. And what's that? 15. So we got one side. Now we need to solve for the other, right? So this is 15, and now we got to look for this one. So how do we know how to get this one? Well, let's use the same rule. Instead, this time, we'll look at it this way. So if we go like this, what sides also go like this? The 2, the 4, and the 2. So this side, let's say it's y, is equal to the sum of that. It is equal to 2 plus 4 plus 2, which is what? That is 8. So now we know that y is 8. Now, we need to find the perimeter, right? We need to find the sum of all the sides. Well, we added these together already, right? That's 15. We added these together already, right? That's 8. Now we need to add the 2 other sides, the 8 and the 15, so let's do that. Now, that is 4 things we have to add. That looks like a lot. But you know what we can do? We can break it down. How about we split it? This and this, right? So what's 15 plus 8? 23. What's 15 plus 8? 23. Now we add 23 and 23. What do we get? 46. And what's the answer? 46, which is E. So we got through the first one. This one was slightly easier than the next 2, but it just introduced a new topic that we really haven't talked about, which is perimeter, and a lot of geometry because we haven't done too many shapes. So each week I'll try to be doing something new while reinforcing what we learned in the past. So you'll see with the last question, you'll see what I mean. Now we have this, number 11. Which of the following expressions has a value that differs from the others? Well, let's go through all of them, right? So let's say A, 20 times 10. Before we do that, do you guys know Pemdas? Basically, this is just the order that you do stuff. So this is parentheses. So something like this. You see, these are in parentheses and these are in parentheses. Those go first. Then you go through and that's what you do together, right? So like this is subtraction. So I'll just draw the symbols. This is addition. This is division. This is multiplication, right? And that's basically what you're going to do. So in this one, we don't have to worry about this. And it doesn't look like there's any subtraction. So we just have to focus on these. So let's keep that in our mind, right? Let's keep that in the back of our mind. So we know parentheses MDA. So I'll write it right here. P, M, D, A. For those of you who don't know PEMDAS yet, it's just a rule for which goes first when you're adding or multiplying or dividing. And you'll probably learn that later on in school. So don't worry yet. So we know, let's look at A, right? We have 20 times 10 plus 20 times 10, right? So what goes first, the multiplication or the addition? Well, according to this, multiplication is before addition. So we do the multiplication first. 20 times 10, let's think about that, right? What I like to do is I like to multiply these numbers. 2 times 1 is 2, and then we have 2 zeros left, right? So 200 plus 200. What's 200 plus 200? 400. So we get 400, right? Just an easy way to do this kind of stuff, like I saw 200 plus 200. Those are huge numbers. Just an easier way is to make the numbers look smaller. So if you simplify that, it's like 2 plus 2, right? Which is 4. And then you just add the 2 zeros and you get 400. So we know that A is equal to 400, right guys? So let's do B now. We have 20 divided by 10 times 20 times 10. So what's the first thing we do here? Well, parentheses, right? So what's 20 divided by 10? That's 2 times 20 times 10. Now we do a multiplication. What's 2 times 20? 40 times 10. What's 40 times 10? 400. So now for B, we get 400. So far they're both the same, right? So we're looking for the one that's different. So we know if 2 of them are the same, that means every one but 1 is going to be 400. So let's try C. C, we have 20 times 10 times 20 divided by 10. Wait a second. That looks exactly like B. The only difference is these things, the 20 times 10 and the 20 divided by 10, switched sides. But that doesn't mean anything. Like if I have 2 plus 4, it's the same thing as 4 plus 2. So this is equal to 10. This is equal to, in parentheses, 20 divided by 10 plus 20 times 10. And we already solved that right here. And what was that equal to? 400. So we could say C is also 400. Now we look at D. We have 20 times 10 plus 10 times 20. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at A. A is 20 times 10 plus 20 times 10. Those are the same thing again, with just the numbers in a different order. Because A is, look, 20 times 10 plus 20 times 10. The only difference is this, 20 times 10 and 10 times 20. Now, are those the same thing? You bet they are. So if you see this kind of stuff, don't get confused, don't worry. Just note that if it's in that kind of order, it's the same thing. So this one's also 400. Now all we're left with is E. So right now it looks like E should be the answer since these are all the same. But let's do it just to make sure, right? So we have 20 divided by 10 times 20 plus 10. So let's go through this. Parentheses first, right? So 20 divided by 10 is 2 times 20 plus 10. Next is multiplication. 2 times 20 is 40 plus 10. Next, addition. 40 plus 10 is 50. But we got 400 for every number. 50 is very different, so that has to be the answer because it's the one that's different than all the others. You see, that's what you guys gotta do when you have a question. You don't necessarily need to just take all the time in the world to go over it. Instead, you could just see, look at the answer choices, think about what you have, and just see if you can figure out a better way to do it. Because with math questions, there are millions of ways to do it. You can't even imagine all the ways you can do one math question, just one. So with that means there's always an easier way. So instead of just doing it the one way you think you know, think outside of the box to try to get a different way, a faster way. All right, last question. This one is what I was talking about earlier. It's very similar to a question we did. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had the balls, right? We had the balls on the scale. Well, this is a very similar question. So let's look at this. The picture shows a hanging mobile. The mobile weighs 112 grams in total. So I'll write that down. How much does the star weigh? So we're looking for the star. Now, what did we discuss before? When they're balanced, that means they weigh the same, right? Because they're not changing at all. Like a seesaw, like I talked to you guys about. One person's on one side, one's on another. If they weigh the same, it'll stay on the same level, right? So that means we know that this is equal to this, right? Just by looking at this. But now this together is balanced with that. So that means these two together is equal to that, right? So now we have this upside down plus the rectangle is equal to the happy face. And that's a sad face. You see, if you give a sad face a rectangle, you get a happy face. So maybe this rectangle is a piece of little cake. Now he had some cake and now he's happy. I know I'd be happy with some cake. All right, let's look at the other side, right? So now we know that the star is equal to the circle, right? Because they're balanced. Star is equal to circle. And then we know that this is balanced with triangle. So star plus circle is equal to triangle. And then we know that all three of these together are equal to square, right? Because we can make these one system. Put these all together and that's equal to square since they're balanced. So now we have triangle plus circle plus star. That's a very bad star. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not the best artist. That's better. And that's equal to square. Oh my goodness. Now we are getting a lot of different numbers and a lot of different things, and it's starting to get confusing. But we have everything organized. Look at that. We have everything straight together. And if we look at this one final thing, this line, that means that this whole side is equal to this whole side. So that means that this together, all of these added together, is equal to this added together. So if we draw that out, that means that triangle plus circle plus star. I can't draw stars. Plus star. That's how you draw a star. Plus square is equal to sad face plus rectangle plus happy face. Or if you guys don't like the happy face, let's draw an upside down smiley face because he's on the monkey bars and he's having some fun. Now, we're looking to find the star. That's what we want, the star. So let's think about this for a second. Well, we know the star is equal to circle, and circle is equal to star, right? So how about we try that? Let's get rid of circle and put in star. Now we have two... That doesn't look like... I can't draw stars, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at these stars. Well, that means that now we have two stars, right? Let's see what else we can do, just to simplify things, right? Well, first of all, even before we do that, let's think about what we were given in the first place. We were given that the mobile weighs 112 grams in total. So now, we know it's all 112 grams. This whole thing is 112 grams. But we know that these two sides are the same. So that means they're both half of that, right? So that means that this is 56, since that's half of 112, and this is 56. So now, that means that all of this together is 56, and all of this together is 56, right? So where do we write that? Well, we have that here. Now let's see again. Well, now we have this. I'm looking at the left side here, guys. We have this part. That's equal to 56, right? Well, now we know that these are the same. So that means that this is equal to half of 56, right? Which is 28. And we know that this is also equal to that since they're the same. So that's equal to 28. So now we have 28 here. And we have 28 here. All right, we're getting somewhere. So let's start plugging those numbers in, right? Because we're using this one big formula. We're using this one big thing to solve for star. So we have sad face plus rectangle is equal to 56, is equal to 28. So we can get rid of sad face and rectangle and put in 28. And then we also know that happy face is equal to 28. So we'll get rid of happy face and we'll add 28. Now, we're stuck with this side. Okay, let's think. Sorry guys, let's think. Let's use the same logic we did there, right? So now we know this is even, so this square is equal to all of that. We said that already, right? So that means it has to be half of the 56, right? So that means square is equal to 28, so we can make the square 28. And this whole thing is 28. So that means triangle plus circle plus star. That's a star, is equal to 28. Uh-oh. How are we gonna do that? I don't know how much the triangle, I don't know how much the circle, I don't know how much the star is. But wait a second. Look what we have. Star is equal to circle. Star plus circle is equal to triangle. All right, we're getting somewhere. I know it, I can feel it. Right, we don't need those anymore since we finished that side. If we know that star is equal to circle, let's put in a star for the circle, right? Because we only want to find the star. How much does a star weigh? So the only one we want to see here is a star. Okay, this is where the tricky part is. What do I do with triangle? Well, we know circle is equal to star, right? So now let's get rid of this circle and change this circle into a star. Now we have star plus star is equal to triangle. So we can get rid of this triangle and add two stars. So star plus star plus star plus star is plus 28 is equal to 28 plus 28, right? Let's simplify this down, right? We have 4 stars, right? So 4 stars plus 28 is equal to 28 plus 28, right? Now, let's get rid of this 28 and subtract 28. And we subtract 28 here. So now we have 4 star is equal to 28. What do we do from here? Well, let's try dividing. So let's divide this by 4 and this by 4. What's 28 divided by 4, guys? Well, for those of you who don't know how to divide, I'll show you really quick. So we do this, right? And we see how many times does 4 go into 2? Is that possible? No. So 0 times. How many times does 4 go into 28? Let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. 7 times. So 7 times 4 is 28. So the answer is 7 there. So star is equal to 7. There we go. And that's B. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. I know this last question was very, not difficult, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of focus. That's what this question took. So I hope you guys were able to follow me through. If not, you can go back, you can see it again, you can pause it at different times. And basically the main lesson here was that they weigh the same if they're in balance. If you remember that, you can just keep going. So I hope you enjoyed. Again, the questions are down below in the link. You have my email if you have any questions or concerns. And I hope you enjoy your day.